Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Alright, so thankfully, after some crap that just kind of happened last night when we tried to fix a billing issue, my internet is back. It wasn't back at midnight, so I kind of ended up just going to bed. But it was back when I woke up this morning, so awesome. And I've got no issues so far, which is good. I'm happy I'm able to stream, and you know how much I like streaming, and how much I, get kind of upset when I can't stream. Because I really like doing this. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. But anyhow, we are continuing with Katawa Shoujo, and I would love if I could finish off this route today. It probably won't happen, in all honesty, which, yeah, if that's the case, tomorrow might become a Katawa stream. I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll see, though. We'll see. We shall see. So, when we had last left off, what happened? Introduced to Lily. Had a nice long chat with good old Kenji about the vast feminist conspiracy, and then we went to bed after debating clubs. Oh yeah, because we also spent time with Shizune and Misha at lunch, and then playing Risk and denying wanting to join the student council. Because joining the student council is not our goal this time around. Not this time. Alright, I'm gonna bring my picture up for myself. That tells me what all my things are. Okay. I might be able to do it, as long as I don't get super distracted by anything. I.e. myself and my rambling. We'll see, though. So, we're just gonna load it up and continue on. I feel very tired this morning. Probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is gonna be heavy. I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I want to put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do. So, this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in, takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say we're going to break into groups again. They do a lot of group work in this school. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now, there is no escape." Hee-chan! It looks like we're together again! Yay, yay! Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Yes, defenestrate yourself. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. What's wrong, Hee-chan? Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said you'd think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Hee-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right? Right! Oh, god fucking damn it, Misha. I'm so happy you two are able to have a laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Ah, that's over. Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only 2 problems. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is, and simply doesn't care. Yeah, that's her alright. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is not important, or is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Hey, that girl over there. Huh? Who, He-chan? Her. Hanako. Over there. Does she always work alone? I think so, He-chan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. No, I don't think that'd be a good idea, He-chan. Why not? She-chan wouldn't get along with her. Why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but still has that lilting up and down quality present in everything she says. Oracle! First, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the bits. You did not have to do that. I appreciate it, though. That's one heck of an entrance. Surprise. Well, consider me surprised. It's not often I hear my phone ringtone through my headphones. Yep, morning. Thanks again. How are you doing? Got another day off today? Where are we at? The Gundam gift. Color me not surprised. Yep. I've got a Gundam GIF and sound alert for bits. I've got a Gundam GIF and sound alert for raids. Yep, for raids. I've got some Katawa Shoujo GIFs and just random sound bits for subs and follows. I'm kind of all over the place. No, you wish just on your first break? Okay. Well, I hope work is going well then. And I appreciate you stopping in on your break. And you're streaming Genshin tonight, correct? If I read your Twitter properly, or was that in your Discord? One of the two. I believe I read somewhere you're gonna do Genshin. I don't know, I got like a million things going through my head. I'm amazed I can keep things straight half the time. I'm amazed I know my own name. Yeah, Burrs, it's been a while since I did Genshin. Alright, cool. Hey, so I wasn't just imagining that. Well, yeah, you know I'm gonna be there at the very least. As always, when I can, I'm off work, so I barely have an excuse to miss. Gotta do my commissions and side quests. Fun, fun. Maybe even some co-op. Ooh, all right. Sounds like it's gonna be a fun time. And I'm actually gonna change the batteries in my mouse because they're starting to die. Good thing I use the rechargeable batteries. There we go. Alright, so once this set gets low, I can charge up 2 of them and have my last good set in here. I wish we could do voice chat in Genshin. It'd be so much easier while streaking. While streaming. Well, I mean, you can get around that just by doing, you know, voice chat in Discord. If at all possible. As long as you know the person at the very least. Oh. I needed a good laugh. Are you kidding me? Oh! Just give that a second. Okay. Autocorrect was not what I wanted. Oh, damn autocorrect. Clearly, you need to use the word streaming more in your texts, so that'll automatically default to that. I guess it does not recognize streaming as a commonly used word. Yet. So, yeah, keep writing streaming in other places so it just realizes, yes, this is actually the word you want. I use it enough. Why you embarrass me, autocorrect? Autocorrect is the gift that keeps on giving. Doesn't matter how many years go by, there's still going to be someone with a hilarious autocorrect mistake. Oh boy, oh boy. Apparently. You know, it gave a good laugh at least. It gave a really good laugh early in the day. So I'll take it. Just because He-chan. By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation, and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she's been saying this whole time. What, Shi-chan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not gonna say that. You said it anyway. I know, He-chan. It's fine if you overhear. I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand a thing Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there's never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Anyway, we should start on the problems now, He-chan. We finish with time to spare, and I decide to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food so far has been subpar. This sends Shizune and Misha arguing amongst themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Yes. Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder towards the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks, the ones with actual boxed lunches mixed in and chatting like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. I need to learn to take breaths when I read dialogue, like, oh my god. I always try to do it in one breath, and I can never do it. But when I watch Hanako, it feels like I'm the only one who can see her. Almost as if she was invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder toward the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. I do what I always do when I don't know what to do. Like now. I've already started on one of the books I borrowed yesterday and took it with me to school to fill the empty moments between classes. I find the page that I creased a corner of to mark the spot I left yesterday night, and pick up from there. Misha and Shizune are still arguing heatedly, probably about the restaurant still. If I joined them, I'd just get caught up in that, or worse, get grilled about joining the student council. Misha isn't speaking aloud since there is nobody who'd need to hear what they're talking about. But why does she tend to sign things even when Shizune doesn't need to understand what's being said? Or even more strangely, when Shizune's not around at all. What an odd conflict of habits. It's weird, bitrate goes to 0 at times. Don't know why. Oh well. I find it hard to focus on the book, and besides, the lunch break beckons me to leave the dullness of the classroom. I do so, heading down for the cafeteria. Misha and Shizune, having come to a conclusion of one kind or another, follow in my wake, though still talking in their animated fashion. Just around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a runaway train. Yeah. This is gonna be Emmy. Ouch. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down onto the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Or she does, but they're not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up.
Aw, man. Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going, and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. Sorry.
I think I butchered my Emmy voice, but oh well. She's looking really apologetic, in the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. Oh my god. Hurt puppies are your weak spot. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Ouch. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself, don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. It seems normal.
Hey, should I get the nurse?
The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds dumbfounded, until I realize that I probably looked worse off than I really was, double over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need. I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time, and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me. Big time. It's nothing more than that.
You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard.
It's okay. I said I was fine, and nothing's broken. No harm done.
That's good. I
feel a hand on my shoulder at the same time. What the okay, I don't... Oh, God, I hate that. I hate how sometimes the lines will just skip over real fast, just for that tension. I feel a hand on my shoulder at the same time the girl's eyes widen in horror, and whatever she's saying gets interrupted by a very horrified...
Eep.
I don't have time to look behind me because Shizune is already shoving me aside and stomping over to the girl, signing furiously at her.
Miss Ibaruzaki, I saw that! Running in the halls is strictly forbidden!
Misha translates, right on Shizune's tail, but her voice is girlishly playful, not full of the divine fury Shizune's arm movements would seem to call for.
Sorry. I was just going to get some stuff, and I was kind of in a hurry. You've been told this 1,000 times before! Your reckless behavior endangers other students, and even worse, it's explicitly against the school regulations.
Oh, God. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously, like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute I find myself smiling.
I know that. I was just... Make sure this will not happen again. Although I'm sure telling you this is futile and only causes me further headache when you choose to ignore the regulations. Got that, Emmy?
A small girl sticks her tongue out in response. Oh, fucking Emmy.
I gotta go. Teacher'll have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I got change and everything.
Yeah, I think I went more Misha there. Oh well. It is what it is. At least not going down one of their routes this time. Before Misha or Shizune or I can say anything, she's already bolted from where she was a second ago, almost halfway toward the stairwell. Shizune looks like she's about to go nuclear on the spot, so I smile at her in a vain attempt to calm her down.
Are you okay, Hee-chan? That Ibarazaki girl is always like that, causing trouble to others.
You know, I'm pretty certain Shizune wouldn't call me Hee-chan.
Never mind, never mind!
Yeah, anyway, I'm okay. Just got the wind knocked out of me.
That's great, Hee-chan!
I wouldn't call that great, but I let it slide this one time.
We have to run now. There's an important student council meeting regarding the festival. And we finally decided where to eat. Too bad you can't join, but this lunch meeting is only for council members. We can take you there some other time. Oh, but wouldn't that be like that would be like a date, wouldn't it?
Insert wahaha here. The girls leave for downstairs. I didn't manage to get far from the third floor hallway before all this commotion struck. Literally. I should get going as well. The lunch and afternoon class pass uneventfully. I read most of the book I started yesterday and eat some of the most inedible offerings of the cafeteria. The class is tiresome. The teacher seems like an okay person, despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize there's still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital, I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Muto is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I'd do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he's holding and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed. Much more routined. Okay, I just read that wrong and dumbly. You have no plans? No. I considered joining a club, but I don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like... feels like I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they're blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There is not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako. It's not like you can ignore her face. Yeah, dude, you can. You can easily ignore her face. It'll be shocking at first, and then it just becomes, oh yeah, that's just Hanako. I mean, we know this. You guys have seen me go through all 5 routes. Now I'm doing the 6th route. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open.
Teacher!
Misha crashes in, hands straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts toward the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Muto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Makedo. Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong, but has no idea what.
Yes?
We have talked about volume control before.
Yes!
Well, she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. She doesn't have a volume. Misha has no volume switch. So, what is it?
We need help! We're running out of supplies for the festival stands! This is a distress!
She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that?
Plywood! Plywood is always the problem! Last time we wanted more, there was only a little. But that time we just took it all and went with that. Now there's like none left there, so do you know where there is some?
I don't understand. How would I know? God almighty. Yeah, why are you asking the science teacher where plywood is?
Shi-chan, I mean the president thought that a teacher would know where there's plywood. Was she wrong?
Muto looks like he's in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible. Like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. Some of the descriptions they come up with are just insane. I love them. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any.
What should I do?
Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya? I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold, dead hands, well, that's a different matter.
I don't have time! We're so busy!
She holds her head with both her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Not even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair.
I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do and we're falling behind schedule.
Muto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I wonder if I could get you some temporary help? He switches to staring at me focusedly with a hard expression, as if to say, go make some friends. I guess I can give you a hand.
You can? Thanks, Ichan. You're really nice.
She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her finger, yelping, "Ah!" and looking very puzzled.
Come to think of it, what's He-chan doing here? Class is over. You should be having fun.
We just had a little chat.
Oh no! It's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, He-chan?
No, I'm not.
Is He-chan in trouble, teacher?
No, he's not. God. Even if he was, would he say anything? Muto sighs deeply, and I feel I have to help Misha to get her. I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So, what do you need?
Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room.
She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help, but this has no implications on whether I'm joining the council or not.
Ah. Still, thanks, He-chan. Try to be quick. We're in a stall building streak now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry.
She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it. Oh, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. I'm looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's. I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belong to Class 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side, and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms I didn't even think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept and not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There's some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. Morning, Nichols. How you doing? Morning, morning, morning. Thankfully, my internet is back up and running again, so I was able to stream this morning. We just had a kerfluffle last night where it just decided after trying to fix a billing issue, yeah, they just kind of killed our internet and cable while trying to fix it. And it didn't come back on until, I'm assuming, some point earlier this morning, because it wasn't on at night before I went to bed. Doing all right? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'd say I'm doing pretty good today. Now that I say that, everything now feels stiff. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. It's a Rin. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes, and a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in the corner very still, but I still somehow took her as part of the furnishing, or a statue at first glance. Yeah, Mr. Everyone is furniture. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. Hello. Damn it. I can't remember how I did the Rin voice, so just gonna try to do a bored one. I think that's how I was going for. Just kind of went with a really bored voice for her. The girl stuffs the fork full in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here. Or some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there'd be someone here.
There isn't. That's why I came here too.
She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false.
You are pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you?
This girl's pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. This is Sao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday.
I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice.
Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. Rin is a mystery wrapped in an enigma surrounded by a riddle. Kinda bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. While I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food.
And I continue my lunch. If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back.
Go right ahead. But lunch? School's already over for the day.
What word would you use then? There is no word for a meal you eat after lunch, but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say.
I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with.
But I'm hungry now, and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious.
With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me.
So, Nakai, what brings you to this place?
Like I said, I was told to look for these things.
No, the school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside?
I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out.
I can guess. I am good at guessing. Better than most people.
Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that I'm making issues of this as part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate? Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side.
I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine. And less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. God damn it.
This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widen in revelation and astonishment.
So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there?
Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I can think of. No! Nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed.
How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous.
What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down.
I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, you know, that kind of problem would have been really great.
Collect people?
People with different problems.
Huh. So you just, like, go around asking people what's wrong with them?
Pretty much.
I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what she said, or what was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it, like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. I'm trying to figure out where I am right now. Okay, I'm getting pretty close to where I gotta be. Yeah, I'm pretty close to where I need to be to get this donezo. Bingo, bango, dunzo. Maybe. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boys' uniforms and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty, except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their hands. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. Makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable. So, I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So do you always eat alone, and this late? Or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors? Maybe you're my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Rin forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down at my haul and double-check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. Thanks for contributing your points, Nichols. We're 91% of the way there. Again, everyone, we do have that community challenge to get me to buy and play Fallout New Vegas. We just need... How many more is that about? Only about 7,000 points to go. And bing bang boom, I am playing another game. We're really close. Probably start searching like GameStops and everything so I can play it on a console so I don't have to, you know, use the computing power of my computer. And I can more naturally use a controller. So I think I have all the things now.
That's very nice for you. Don't feel obligated to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're gonna do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping?
I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka.
You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at a point good enough to warrant this much.
I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine. Then I'm Hisao.
Then you are.
Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere.
See you later, Hisao.
There is something like a tiny smile there in her face. Maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself. What an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice.
I heard that.
Oh God, Misha.
What did she hear?
I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow, she'd gotten to jumping distance ahead of me, a jumping distance of me without making a sound. Jesus Christ, I cannot read again today. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I push that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited.
No, wait! More importantly, who's in there? There's no club meetings today.
She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here?
You took so long we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hee-chan.
She wags her finger at me scoldingly.
I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you're tardy.
Oh, sorry. I got the things here. I was just gonna bring them.
I think you're up to some mischief, Hee-chan. Who's in there with you, I wonder?
Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness.
Hello.
Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello.
Miss Tezuka, what are you doing? What were you think you were doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular.
It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune, Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs.
Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how is your project going? Will it be done for the festival?
Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her.
I keep wondering about that myself, too. And? Well, think about it harder.
As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. God damn it. Rin is... Oh man, I cannot believe I ended the game last year with Rin's route. That was a mind trip. That route was a freaking trip and a half. If you were there, you know. If you weren't there, yeah, I mean, if you want to experience it, go right ahead.
Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw their lunch up onto it.
Rin nods assertively.
Well, think more seriously.
Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo.
How rude. It's true, though. I must finish my project before the weekend. There'll be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future.
I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom.
Since you have nothing to do, won't you give me a hand? This paint doesn't fit into the bag, but I need it.
She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do I need to take it?
Away.
And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone, so we too leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to the other because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I'm walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, and then turns to me because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we'll do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool. So I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't. But his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Alright, which is going to get me to the ending I want quicker. Because I could say either one, and they can get me to where I gotta go. It can happen, so, Oh, wait, I'm way too far. Looking at the wrong thing. Just looking at my options right now. At least what could potentially be the more entertaining. Yeah, I'm just gonna say no. I'll go with it. So the maybe. Maybe. No. I mean, it gives me a nasty sort of look when I say that, making me try to take back the word. I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to the school. I promise I'll try, though. You're not being very convincing there, Hisao. Tip number 1. Medical professionals are not amused if you take their advice lightly. What's up with him? As if a day or two would make that much of a difference. I didn't do anything at the hospital either. Yep, okay. Sorry. He studies me for a moment, and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation if you'd like to get a jog. If you'd want to jog a bit. Ugh, words. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who's been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? Comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out at her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. I don't know why this is so hard for me. Feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah. They're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital, it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings out about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. And it's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles in the ground beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from our class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there's lots of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it is there actually is, to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around, and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. Jesus. Drink time. But it makes me feel out of place. Like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the last few days. This girl doesn't seem to notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes. Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice. But I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels like I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See? I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is. But maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was with using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. And neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon lights work pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I want to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat. You know, flat. Like some people are. No substance, no meat where there should be some. I know a few girls who... Okay, I get it. But I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms. so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at that, saying, "Suit yourself," without saying it, and looks up at the sky, as if trying to look for something up there.
I didn't think I'd get any actual work done. But if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any.
Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though.
It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Probably. Do you have motor control problems? Like, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe?
Not that I know of.
I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that.
She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't.
Let's do it then.
So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between her toes on her bare right foot. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paint flows lazily from the can to the bowl, like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that quickly melt into each other and form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last millimeter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best.
Add half a splash of green.
I crouch down and pick up the can of bright green.
The other green. This green.
I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl.
No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add?
No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth.
Do you lack an opinion?
No, it's just I have no idea.
It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white.
With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter.
That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow.
Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down on the paving and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues. As if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. Oh my god. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into an unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I haven't already. Hey, Brozard, is there not a game category for Katawa? There used to be? There did used to be a category, but before I had started streaming, like I think even just streaming this game, they got rid of it entirely. Which sucks. So I've just been using games and demos for it, because, well, that's the closest I can get. I mean, I can check to see if they added it back for whatever reason. But I doubt they did. Yeah, no, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't add it back. Yeah, it got taken away, like, at some point. Don't know why. Maybe just not enough people played, so they figured, screw it. Also, how you doing, Brozard? Hope your morning's going well. I know Aqua uses games and demos category for most of her VNs. Yeah, that's kind of the idea I took when I saw her do them. I saw she was using that for when she plays through VNs that didn't actually have a category, so it's like, alright, that seems to be the best spot to do them. Put it then. Because, it's correct, they are games. Maybe that's discriminatory? I have no idea. Maybe their system can't handle so many games or something? With all the new ones adding, so they figured, let's drop a few off. Been alright, tummy's grumbling, putting in half a day of work, they need to go to the hospital, prep for procedure on Monday. Okay. Alright. So, pretty busy day then. Between work and hospital prep. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're gonna let me get away that easily. Sorry. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually, I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku's, so I didn't get issued the gym outfit. I'd order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kinda nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way. A bit like me. Seems a bit stupid to me, really. But I suppose this way at least I can tell the nurse honestly that I'm doing something about my health. Not that I was ever much of a runner to begin with. Can't hurt to try, I guess. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and is prompting me to do so. One moment. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over.
Good morning. Your name's Hisao, right?
She grins, seemingly pleased that she'd remembered my name.
You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday.
Face.
Miss Ibarazaki?
Oh god. Zoom girl. She imitates Misha imitating Shizune, failing to get the same kind of subdued lit into her high-pitched voice. Or lilt, whatever. How could I forget such a, blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling.
Yeah, sorry about that. Again.
Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine.
Great!
I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So, the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you?
That's right.
Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest.
What? Are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy?
No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you were here to do exactly that.
No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I'd seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kinda lost around the track.
So why are you down here? Amy strikes a dramatic pose.
Training! For what? Track!
Ah, I see. You're on the track team then? Emmy nods enthusiastically.
Yep. I'm one of the better runners too.
And modest about it too.
Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know.
I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Nah, I'm not even sure I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I did run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning.
I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're gonna run together, huh?
What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased.
Are you going to warm up?
Real men don't warm up. You warm up or you're gonna fucking hurt yourself. Yeah, idiot. He's an idiot.
Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad Hisao.
She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer.
I hate warming up too.
She laughs suddenly.
Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs.
As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic.
Let's go!
So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Frankly, I don't remember if there's any particular form of running, but I can't help but feel like I'm doing it wrong somehow. I feel awkward in comparison to Emmy, who never seems to break stride. I don't think I want to do this anymore. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quick. I hope this doesn't happen often, but I wonder how many times someone's blades have snapped and the runner just eats it. It's probably happened. It for sure has happened, though I think they would look at their blades before they start running with them, just to make sure they are in good condition, so that lessens the chance. But you never know. Because, I mean, the running blades are only used for running, so they're not going to just be going around, walking around town with them. So, yeah. I'd actually kind of look up that statistic or something. Yeah, I'm probably not going to look that up after. Just see how often, or just how durable, running blades are. I want to see folks striding through downtown like mighty gazelle. Oh my god. Emmy keeps running. It doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor.
Finished already?
I hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods, then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling.
Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time, you have to try to hold out longer, and then longer and longer, and eventually you'll be great.
I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm gonna go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly.
Nah, I got plenty of time.
I notice she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug.
Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao.
Yeah. See ya. Apart from feeling more tired than before, I don't think I accomplished anything today. I'm so out of shape it's embarrassing. The whole thing might have been a waste of time. I'll find some other way. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Oh great, I know what's happening. Yep. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog. Sup? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem?
I should be asking you that. I've been looking all over the place, looking for you all over the place, man.
What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but I hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too and quickly hold my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up. But then, why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog?
You know, room and... Yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up, though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money?
He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off, with little success. Money? Sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it?
Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you're in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, isn't that what counts? Come on, be a pal.
This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts are so clearly impure, and his intentions are probably even more sinister since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him.
I'm offended, man. But if that's your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order a pizza. And I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help with the rest.
I get some pizza too, right? No.
Are you serious? Yeah. I'd give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy. And then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you. And the pizza. And they'll ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day, I plan my vengeance, so that when the people who wrong me order a pizza, I will be there. Ever vigilant.
Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony.
But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please? You're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something? Standing? Maybe wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich in 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to eat and hold. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life.
What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me.
It was like in the opening of some kind of anime show. You know, how there's always the part where the main dude is fighting his rival, then they flash at each other and clash swords. There's like big dramatic colored auras and zoom. It was like that, but with poo.
Okay.
So, yeah, I need some money. Please? Don't leave me hanging, man. I need like 1,000 yen.
Thought you said it was 400.
Okay.
What?
I'll pay you back, I swear.
You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff.
I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back.
You have 1 week.
Ah!
Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow. A particularly disturbing fact, given that his baton is conducting freely. Jesus Christ.
You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms, man. I didn't have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make?
That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star.
So maybe I am a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. And you can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody.
Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? This feminist agenda stuff again?
This stuff is important. I can see you don't give a shit, but this is serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy, make no mistake. You take them lightly, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere.
How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep?
Women are terrible at stabbing things.
I thought you said don't take them lightly.
Well, I mean don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and feminist forces on the other side, it'd be pretty ugly.
Demonstratively not true, Kenji. Jeez. Nothing he says is true.
That day will come when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers!"
You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it'd have to be massive. You can't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it.
Who said it was on Earth?
I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. You can't see me from this distance anyway. Which, unfortunately, means he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility.
Yeah, there is a war going on. A war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all the known world. Then, we'll have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield. A vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly. When I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight. When I mistook the time the power went out for a feminist raid and thought the end was near. Then I realized that if I gave up, it would all be over. And I was like, whoa. And I knew I had to get serious. Because I am the last sane man in an insane world. It's about duty.
Must be a pretty crappy movement if it all hinges on one naked guy ranting in the bathroom at another naked guy.
So can I have the money?
He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked, and I want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money.
Awesome! Thanks, dude. We should go bowling later.
Bowling?
Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes, or pastel green with flower accents?
They're bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you'd better pay me back.
I can pay you back in stuff, right?
I don't have time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to hold you up. I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. The time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come.
For what?
I have to use the bathroom.
Get out of it.
I was just going to! What does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So? I have to be alone, or I can't go. Pressure.
Okay, well, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. As much as I hate Kenji, it is a lot of fun voicing his lines in the voice I give him, and just like the mannerisms. I give him my practice frown, and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. This time, I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now, I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is a good reason as any to stay up from now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside in the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was of importance to look prim when entering our classroom.
Excuse me.
She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily.
Hisao, good morning. I didn't hear you come in.
I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell her too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now.
Oh. Have you seen Hanako today, by any chance?
No, she seems to only come in just before the bell rings. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you?
No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here.
I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess.
You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should. Punctuality is a good thing. I think so anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that is why it's so quiet today.
Well, goodbye, silence.
Hi!
Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch.
Hi, Hee-chan!
Hi.
Look! It's the class representative! Hello!
Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's, or Shizune's, use of the word look.
Good morning. Of course! You're not the representative of this class, right? Right? I'm not.
Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realize that Lily might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether she is or not, to know who she's talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one who actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out, for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune.
You were here even earlier than us!
Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, as Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on.
Class rep? It's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events. Even the first years. Except you.
Insert wahaha here.
There's still time to hand it in, isn't there?
Isn't there? I'm never gonna get Lily right anymore. I'm upset at that, but oh well.
Today! The deadline is today! You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say, the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one's class's events? Handling the same issue for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me.
Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she is really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left.
Please, Hisao. It's all right.
Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself.
If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I've forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second.
It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class.
She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council? I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better.
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so. But the students have been sick recently, so they cannot come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay.
Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Jesus Christ.
Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that'll affect the enjoyment of their entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal.
And what's with that attitude? I said it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of.
Ugh, yeah, I've totally lost what I did for Lily initially. But it's been a while since I've had to do it, so yeah, it's gone. Sad face. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can't neither hear nor see how excited she is.
Of course! You do so much, class rep! It must be so difficult being you!
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear. But this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back.
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. It would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent.
The air between them ripples with the heat of their anonymity. Anonymity, whatever, fuck word. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation.
He-chan, don't you slack off either.
What are you talking about?
Aren't you taking part in the festival, He-chan? You are, aren't you? Then, I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person.
I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Alright. Which would be more useful? So it's either I briefly do some stuff with Shizune or briefly do some stuff with Lily before I get to where I need to go. But I need to use the bathroom, so I shall be right back. And I'm back. Okay, it's basically a choice. Do I want to do more, and my big choice here is basically, do I want to do more of, Misha voice, or do I want to do more of Lily and potentially Hanako? And, well, I mean, y'all know what my answer's gonna be. You all know what my answer is gonna be. We're gonna side with Lily, because of course, gotta side with Best Girl. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? Not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with both of us.
Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success.
Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it'll mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that's what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. I get back to my seat and shut my ears for the finale of the argument between Lily and Shizune. Eventually, Lily leaves our classroom, and Shizune and Misha seat themselves without talking to me. I can feel Shizune's eyes burning into my back. She's probably angry at me, and I'm just as angry with her. I don't get why she had to drag me into the argument. Give that a minute to calm itself down. Don't know why it's doing that. Could it be doing it every time an ad pops up? Maybe. No, it's alright. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison, and I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital. I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they're right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune's signing so fast her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters. And then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down on their seats again.
I'm so tired.
She's hanging her head limply on the desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me. But in the end, she starts sighing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously.
Well, of course. We're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws. No, I think that was encumbrances? No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect.
Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting of them.
Oh, hello.
It be Hanako. Look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door.
Hey! Playing delinquent again?
Hanako blushes harder at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She, came by in the morning, though.
Hanako looks uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom, working on the festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at?
Hanako nods quickly and retreats with haste.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're really working hard to make the festival happen.
And driving other people insane along the way. Well, good luck with that. I stand up to leave, making my exit before either of them manages to berate me anymore for slacking off. The hallways are somewhat quiet, as expected. Everyone must be in club meetings or at festival preparations. Or both. Shizune's words about being a slacker echo in my head. I feel a bit guilty about not contributing, but I seem to lack the resolve to do something concrete about the matter. But the festival, it's too late already, unless I count helping Shizune and Misha, which naturally I don't. And clubs? I don't know. Maybe I'm not a club type of a person. Halfway through the way from the school building to the dorms, I spot a figure in front of the dorms. It's Rin. Looks like she's working on her mural today. I walk over to her, but she doesn't seem to notice me approaching. Okay, where the hell am I? Oh, now I know. I'm paint by the numbers. Okay, makes sense now. She's sitting on an upturned box, looking intently at the wall she's painting with a brush held between her toes. The mural has progressed considerably since yesterday, but it's still only half done as far as I can tell. More colors have appeared, and the twisted, human-like figures have spread and increased in number. I have to say, the style is quite eye-catching and very unique. Not that I would be knowledgeable about art by any measurable scale, but it's very nice looking nevertheless. I clear my throat to get her attention, but not startle her so that her concentration won't break. Wait. She doesn't even turn to check who it is. I'll wait. "15 minutes later, I decide that her concentration is indeed unbroken, and also that I have waited long enough to warrant poking her gently on the shoulder to remind her of my presence. Rin turns her head mechanically to my direction, ending up staring at my crotch level. Oh, it's a sow. She can tell? I feel a lot less uncomfortable if she would look at my face. An astute observation. Hard at work, I see. The conversation starts as if it hadn't been here for a quarter of an hour already, but it's not a concern. At least it starts. Looking good. It does. The layers of paint hiding other layers of paint, mixing and shaping the human figures, really create an impressive look. But Rin looks miffed. You shouldn't comment on works in progress. 7 years of bad luck. Sounds terrible. I guess I'll take it back then. Still, it looks good. I wonder if I get 14 years of bad luck for thinking that. Rin turns back to look at her painting and pokes it with a big toe. Could you mix some of this color? I'm running out of it. She looks down at a half-empty bowl with the remains of the same pinkish paint in it. I didn't really intend to stay and help her with this project, though. I guess I didn't intend to do anything much. I look at Rin. She looks emptily back at me. Just this once. Rin picks up another brush and drenches it in another tone of pale red. There are dozens of similar bowls all around her working area. From the looks of this scene, she's been sitting there for hours. Or she could have been sitting there for hours. I wonder if she has. That means she'd been skipping school, though, which, of course, wouldn't put beyond someone like Rin. I pour a bit of white and... bit right, he really likes to start acting up now, more than usual. That's about as good as that's gonna get. I pour a little bit of white and red into the bowl, trying to match the color with the one already on the wall. I can't seem to get it right. It's really inconvenient of her to not mix enough in the first place. Getting it to be exactly the same tone would be impossible, but at least I can try to get as close as I can. Speaking of hard work, isn't that a huge workload for you too? Such a big painting and all. Oh, I'm not old and bitter enough yet to think like that. I guess you aren't. You guessed right. Legs hurt, though. They feel like slugs. Slugs made of sea slugs. Because of the position? Yeah, I like doing it in a horizontal position more, if you know what I'm talking about. But it can't be helped. Can't ask the wall to lay down. Saying that, she stretches herself a little, bending her legs back far more than a human should flex. It's astonishing how effortlessly she manages her body around. There's a small flint in her otherwise blank expression, a hint of pain maybe, as she stretches out her calves. Rin must have stamina and dexterity far above a normal person to be able to live like she does. She's wearing out working on this. Why push yourself so much? Take a break or something at least. Continue tomorrow if it's bad. This gives her a pause. A long one too, feeling like a mental yawn. I don't think so, Asao. I'm not pushing myself. Sure looks like you are. No, it's not about pushing or pulling or anything related to that kind of thing. There's this boy. A boy?
Yes.
Where?
At the art club.
And...
He is blind.
Oh, how can you paint if you're blind?
No idea.
So why is he there?
And that's the point. He is there.
She really should speak more than one word at a time to make this feel more like a discussion and less like an interrogation.
He can't really do anything that you'd call art, right? But he comes there anyway. And paints. Why?
I don't know. Why?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
So?
He doesn't paint often, but I think his paintings are very interesting.
I'm sure they are.
I once tried that, painting with eyes closed. It wasn't too interesting. Cleaning up the floor took ages. Didn't try again. But he is becoming better at sculpting.
I see. Maybe she's trying to make a point with this. Maybe she forgot she had one. Seems like the art club is full of interesting people.
Not really.
Pretty blunt statement, and she totally missed the sarcasm.
No? Just like I said, they're not very interesting. I usually don't have much interest in people who are not interesting. Maybe you have.
Maybe.
But that boy is interesting. Maybe I'm like that boy, or maybe you are. Maybe everyone is. Doing things you can't do, just because you can.
That's pretty deep, I think, and I tell that to her. You're a deep one.
Nah, I'm a really shallow and thoughtless person. People say that to me all the time. Did you know I can only think of 4 things at the same time?
No, but now I do.
Right now, I'm thinking of the second floor girls' toilet, ice cream flavored ice cream, the middle toe, and a haircut. I'm gonna need a haircut.
She shakes her head around vigorously, letting her short and messy hair ruffle wildly around. I can see that doing it is something she likes to do. We fall silent as Rin shreds around absent-mindedly, poking some brushes around. The thought about the art club sticks in my head a while longer. I'm feeling like I'm treading on very unknown territory with art. The way these meetings with Rin go, it's as though I'm starting a smoking habit or something. I should probably stop talking with her. It's not like I dislike her, despite the confusion her being herself causes, and I don't dislike art either. It even draws for fun sometimes. I just don't have a real creative drive or any technical skill. So usually, if I were to draw something, I get white paper syndrome and just freeze completely. That, or I manage to draw something disfigured and promptly get frustrated at my inability to put the picture in my head down on the paper, then call it quits without really even trying to make an effort. Rin clearly doesn't have this problem, but she frustrates me in another way. Being with her is like looking into a mirror that doesn't reflect anything. It makes one question the sanity of the act. Rin sits down on her box, swaying from side to side, apparently comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. She's staring at me again, or maybe over my shoulder. I can't quite figure out where her eyes are focused. I'm thinking of leaving so she can carry on working undistracted, and then I can do whatever I'm gonna do alone. It's not like I have anything that must be done today. Oh, shoot!
Who?
Nobody. I just forgot to tell Hanako that Lily was looking for her. Do you know her? From my class?
Oh, her. The mysterious toilet girl. That person is funny. I saw her going to the toilet 5 times during one recess 3 weeks ago. I'm sure that's a world record. It was very mysterious.
That's why you call her Mystery Toilet Girl?
What other reason could there possibly be? Well, if there is, it's an eternal mystery. I didn't follow her in there. Maybe it was the week before that? Could have been. Looking at her makes me hungry.
Don't say that. At least not around her. Rin turns to look at me blankly, as if she's not sure why I reproved her. But she doesn't acknowledge understanding any more than before, so I give up at this point. So do you want to go eat dinner then?
No, not yet.
Rin has turned her hungry gaze back to the wall, looking slightly more energetic, or at least slightly less lethargic than she did before. It's as if the wall is an opponent she has to vanquish, something she must overcome before she can indulge in dinner. This is the feeling I get. A weird sense of empathy overcomes me and makes me smile a little to myself. For all her oddity, Rin is pretty cool after all. I'll be going anyway. Have fun. Rin has already grasped a brush and is dipping it into fresh paint, so of course she can't hear me anymore, or doesn't answer anything even if she does. I'm feeling so tired, I set my alarm to wake me up as late as I can afford, while still making it to the first class. The nurse's voice is almost nagging in the back of my head about morning jogs. I make a resolution to make up for it by going for a walk after school tomorrow. Amy won't care either way, I bet. Wake up and take a hot shower. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on the top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made peace with this thing, gotten over it. But what I really did? I allowed myself to forget I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. Seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life might be different from others, but it's a life in progress. That's how I rationalize it. I down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early, as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me, soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey. He jumps at the sound of my voice.
Oh, hey, man. I didn't know you were there. I'm really tired.
I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping?
Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want.
So then, what's in the bag?
I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy.
Okay. I thought you didn't go outside.
I wear a hat now.
I decided not to point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closes the door. I'm surprised he went out of the way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of the opportunity to study is pretty diligent.
I never study.
Oh?
I just want to know when the test day was. I'm gonna take it, duh. I need to know so I know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I have to step out and check up on it.
And why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone?
I don't carry a phone.
What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home?
Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones. I have no phone.
Why don't you have a phone? How could you not have a phone? No phone at all?
No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it.
Beaten in the head?
Well, where else can I get beaten with a phone if it would make me unable to remember it? The ass?
Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside.
Yeah, I gotta go to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is gonna start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. I'm too tired to go to school. Hey, need some lip balm? I accidentally bought 2 because I thought the store started carrying individual AA batteries.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Whatever, man.
He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. Oh my god. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names still escape me still. And the class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. I just want to make sure I know where I am. Alright, so we did that. And we passed that. We're not going to be doing that part. And I don't have any brownie points with you. Okay, I'm actually nearly there. So long as my internet holds out, I'll just breeze through this to the end. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of the festival in your minds.
Games and fried food!
Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikaido. But what I meant to say... Whatever, words. He says something and interrupted by the bell. The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Oh my god. I gotta go through all of this now, don't I?
Hisao! I'm gonna make you a one-time only, super extra special lunch offer. Emmy's homemade lunch boxes, and the privilege of enjoying them in private with 2 bombshell beauties.
Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway. A remarkable feat, since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose, as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making a V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited?
You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought I could use some company.
That was probably the most depressing reason imaginable.
So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. I'm kidding.
Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. With pleasure.
Well, let's go to the roof.
The roof? Why the roof?
Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off. And then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself.
Oh well.
Come with me.
Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily.
Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it.
Huh, The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, and it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs.
Eek!
Hello.
Yipes! Scared me, Rin.
Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me.
You two know each other?
I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school.
I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy.
The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds, until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off.
I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better.
Oh.
Does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3.
Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the roof look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence, take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine. Looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftops makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag.
Come on, Hisao. What are you waiting for?
She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit onto it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me.
Here you go. Lunch as promised.
Homemade no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Oh man, this is just bringing back more memories. I know I haven't done much commentary because I'm trying to get through this, but This is just bringing back more memories and thoughts of when we played through this last year. And yeah, it makes me happy thinking about this game again. Makes me really happy thinking about it again.
Thanks! I make it myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I said about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I'm in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding.
Morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Wouldn't you become a man?
God damn it, Rin. I very nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this?
Talk like what? Like what?
I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Ren seems content to let Emmy answer this question.
Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another.
Complement each other?
Like shoes in a suit.
Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion.
Put us together and we've got all our limbs. Get it?
Ah.
So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject.
I have trouble with shirts.
Right, that seems fairly obvious.
Really?
Kind of. This isn't helping. But at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting a shirt on seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rid nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner.
I see.
The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise.
Ah, that was good.
As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up.
I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry.
With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. I like how we got stuck with cranberry. Ren dexterously stabs her straw through the top of the box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow, I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So, Hisao, how do you like it up here?
It's quite nice, actually. I like high places, for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service?
I don't know.
Emmy looks mock offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve.
She giggles. Ugh. Where the hell am I? Trying to figure out where the shit I am. I'm somewhere. What even is... No, wrong thing. What even is the Cinemat? Foot and mouth. Alright, let's open this up and hope it doesn't kill the stream. Katawa. Boop. Camp did not run in the morning, so we'll be going through all that. Okay, I do not believe I will have a heart flutter. So I should be on the right track. We'll find out shortly. She giggles.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I'll keep eating lunch all alone.
I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding! I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at the declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs.
Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're gonna fade away.
Rin shrugs, as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. And we're still there. I'm just gonna make sure I know where I'm at. Okay, I think we're actually nearly there. Afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slots in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging as they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you.
No, that's fine. It happens. A lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you?
It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section toward the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she is there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week. So much. Okay, you know what? I can't take any more right now. Even though I am right where I need to be, there's still a lot to go through. So I'm probably going to save that for tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be finishing this off, and I'll maybe start Kingdom Hearts or something. Let me actually switch scenes right now. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that's about all I can take for today, honestly. 3 hours of doing just this is a bit much, especially when I'm still got a lot to go through and there isn't an actual true end in sight. I mean, there is an end. I know what the end is going to be, but there's a lot leading up to it. It's not even some kind of explosive finale like with Lily's or anyone's. So yeah, I am going to end it off here for today. We got a fair bit through. I did go longer than I usually do, which is always nice. It's always nice to do that kind of thing. I don't really have anyone I can send you all out for a raid to, so that's okay. We can leave a raid for another time, probably tomorrow. So yeah, game plan for tomorrow is I'm going to start stream. We'll play through probably the rest of Katawa Shoujo. If there is time and I'm feeling up for it, I will start Kingdom Hearts. If this just ends up taking a bit too long, we'll save our start for Kingdom Hearts to Sunday. Which, as a reminder, my schedule is up on Twitter. Right now, nothing has changed, so we are good there. So, Sunday and Monday, for sure, is going to be Kingdom Hearts streams. Where I'm going to start through the game and just, you know, start playing. Try to get on through it. Have fun playing a series that I also thoroughly enjoy. But yeah, that is it for all for today. Thanks everyone for, you know, watching, commenting, lurking. Thank you for the bits, Aura. I appreciate it very, very much. You never have to do something like that. You know I'm gonna get you back in your stream. So yeah, I hope everyone has themselves a great rest of their day, and I'll see you next time.